dropped me off, in bright sunshine by the seaside, and it was just such an amazing value exchange. It was incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely something else. So, and look, now you picked me up, and now it's sunny again, so thank you.
Hopefully you have more of that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. So what did you think of the film Inception?
Very interesting and very confusing for me.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't dream. I daydream.
Yeah.
More than I dream, and I don't know why. And it's my partner always says, "Oh yeah, I dreamt about this last night. I dreamt about that last night," and I can't do it at all. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not relaxed enough. Maybe I'm too stressed.
Do you want me to give you a couple of simple tips on how you can get to a point of surpassing any level of dream recall you've had in the past, to the point to where you might think I'm crazy when I say this, but you can actually start to remember 10 or more dreams every single morning? I mean, it goes
Maybe
to show,
that's what it is, that I can't remember it.
That's exactly it. You dream every single night like the rest of us. The difference is your dream
but the
recall
thing
is
is,
poor.
I'm always thinking about work.
Exactly.
Always thinking about
Exactly.
work. And I just want to come away from that and not have to stress about thinking about work.
Alright, so let's talk about that then. So, when you get into bed, so what you're saying is typically you get into bed and you're still, the intellectual chatter going on in your head is thinking about work.
Sam's just got to move that car over there. I've got to get that car serviced before that one's got to go over there. That one's got to be cleaned in the morning because I've got to get it delivered back to there. And if I'm thinking about that and then I think, oh, and I've got a notepad next to my bed as well.
Yeah.
So if I think of something, I don't want to forget that. I'll write it down ready in the morning. That's how psychotic this is.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah. And I'll wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm thinking about is, right, get ready, have something to eat, get to work, you need to move that car over there quickly.
Wow, brilliant. Can I simply say a better sort of use of that notepad, instead of being prepared to take notes of things that are stressing you mentally, take notes of things that would actually help soothe your mind and help you get into this relaxed state, so you can not only go to sleep quicker, but actually start to access your dream state, which in turn at some point could become productive. Because if you get into a dream state, then you can move cars around all you want in a more fun way, and you might then suddenly have some sort of dream character walk in, which you'll think at first, this is just an aspect of my subconscious driving all this scenery. Maybe the boss in this dream scene walks in and sort of lays something profound on you, and it just changes the whole direction of the dream, and you wake up in the morning thinking, really, was that my subconscious, or is something else interesting going on there? But for the dream recall, the simple stuff, when you get into bed, first thing to do is, instead of start thinking about work, leave that up behind as much as you can. Focus on just one simple affirmation, this thing called an affirmation, where you're repeating something again and again in your mind to sort of reinforce it on a subconscious level. So what I want you to say is something as simple as this: tonight I will remember my dreams. Tonight I will remember my dreams. Tonight I will remember my dreams. And you just keep saying that over and over until it becomes your last conscious thought. So let's say that you're doing this, you're repeating, I will remember my dreams. Tonight I will remember my dreams. And then suddenly you stop. You can pause for a moment and you think about work. What I want you to do is just say, in your own head, just thank yourself. Thank that thought, because you're thanking that thought for reminding you that you stopped, even briefly, with your affirmation. Because that's the only way that other thought came in. Because if you would have continued with your affirmation, that thought wouldn't have had room or any space to come in.
Yeah.
So if you have that thought, say thank you for reminding me, get back to your affirmation and keep repeating, tonight I will remember my dreams. Make it your very last conscious thought. And so to literally, you go to sleep with that only thought in your mind. I guarantee, one, you'll go to sleep quicker because you're not stressing yourself. Two, you're thinking of something that could be very productive for you to recall an aspect of your life, which for most of the time is you're unconscious to. So let's say you then wake up in the morning and you have a dream that you can recall. And I guarantee if you do that, maybe not the first night, but within the first few nights of doing that affirmation and making your last conscious thought, you'll start to remember a few dreams every morning. When you have a dream, even if you spontaneously wake up in the night, this is how I want you to start using that notepad. Pick up the notepad. First of all, when you wake up, stay still. So if you just spontaneously stir, stay still. Think about any dream that you just had. Impress it on your mind. Then pick up the notepad. jot down just the basic details of the dream, like maybe the scenery, the dream characters, how it made you feel. Put the notepad back down and go to sleep with the thought of that dream in your mind, kind of replaying it visually in your mind as you're drifting back to sleep. This will have two things that this is assisting you with now. You're writing down your dreams, which acts as like same as the basic rule of behavioral psychology. When you start to sort of focus on something, you reinforce that, and so you experience more of it. So the more you write down, even the fragments of dreams, the recall will actually become stronger. The dream recall will be so vivid within a week that you will actually think, it was as if I was watching a full film in my mind, in the theater of my mind. It can get that powerful. So trust me on this. And then the second element, after you've jotted down the dream and you're going back to sleep with the idea of that dream in mind, it's almost as if you're re-experiencing the dream in the first person sort of state. You can actually have the ability to fall back straight into that dream. And if you fall straight back into that dream that you just wrote down, you can sometimes have your conscious awareness raise up within that short space of time, and you know you're dreaming, and then suddenly that dream goes from being very dreamlike and hazy to where that reality of the dream becomes as real and vivid as what you're experiencing right now, talking to me while driving your car. I guarantee it will be no different. If it doesn't get more vivid than this, you're still not conscious enough. You can raise your consciousness even more, and I guarantee you, if you've never had a dream as real as this, you're going to be shocked. And when you are, I'm going to give you my card before I get out of the car. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get an email or a text off you to say, my God, Todd, I did the simple things. I did the affirmation on going to sleep. When I woke up in the night, I used the notepad in a more productive way. And then I reinforced, by thinking about the dream, as I went back to sleep, I had this dream where I suddenly knew I was dreaming. I was able to control or direct my experience within the dream, so interact in it. I was able to change things within the dream. I guarantee you the message you'll send me will be a similar message that people always way they always feel. They'll say things like, I feel so elated, it felt so freeing, I actually jumped up in the air and didn't realize it, but I could fly, and I was flying like Superman in the dream. It is that powerful, and it can be life-changing for people, where it starts to shift your perspective, and you start to see life where you're actually, in a sense, starting to dream your dream stuff into reality, where because you're becoming more conscious within the dream, you're maybe living your life in a more conscious way. And it has such a knock-on effect.
No way. That's mind-blowing, crazy.
Well, you saw the film Inception, no matter how much it might have confused you.
Now I understand it more.
Really?
Yeah, I actually understand it more. Now I understand why his wife wanted to stay in her dream, because she could control everything that she wanted.
Now look, I'm not telling you to stay in the dream.
No.
What I'm saying is wake up within this dream.
Because
in a sense, you know what? So many people walk around in physical reality in a dream state.
Yeah.
Think about how, instead of you being unconscious at work because you're just going through the motions, routine motions, how you can start to be more enjoying in the moment.
Yeah.
More conscious in the moment.
Yeah.
Beautiful, brother.
Yeah, no, that's well cool. I like that.